Hi, I'm Shorn Rah, and today I'm looking at the Edirol PCR-M1, ultra slender, lightweight, low profile, MIDI USB control keyboard with 25 keys. It has very low profile, pitch bendy thingy, a modulation, pressure sensitive. It has 6 assignable buttons, 8 assignable knobs, and the back we have MIDI in and out. It's got a cool traveling case, which has nice feel to it. It's kind of neoprene. It's lovely. I would like to have a jacket like that. And also these wonderful template things, so that when you've actually assigned them, your knobs, you can squiggle down what they actually do, which is very handy. They've got sticky bits. Yeah, as you can see, it's super, super thin and slender and lightweight. Really designed for traveling, for if you're stuck for space. I mean, it will fit anywhere, really. Ultra, ultra, ultra slender. Go very nicely with your laptop. It's not really a player's keyboard. It doesn't have the same feel as a normal keyboard. It's very, very shallow, but it's very, very usable. The keys feel good, quite hard. Sturdy. By the looks of things, this isn't class compliant. We're going to need to install a driver. Batman. Okay, so I've booted up the editor, and the first thing I notice is it's actually a generic editor for the whole PCR series. So I've got a whole lot of faders here that aren't on this controller, so I don't need those. But anyway, everything's very easy to assign. You just got pop-up window, one click, and it gives you the choice of the different things that it can transmit: channel message, system real time, system exclusive, free message, and tempo. So this is note, but you have channel pressure, etc., etc. Your MIDI channel, your minimum value, maximum value, and you can choose what output port you want to use, and you can even put a comment when you have edited it. Now, on the one thing that was a bit weird is it doesn't recognize it straight away, the hardware. The editor didn't recognize it, so I had to go into MIDI devices and set up in and output ports before I could transmit my edits. Okay, one thing that is a tiny bit of a pain is if I want to transmit or receive data, I've got to set up a bulk dump or receive mode actually on the keyboard, which is a bit of a pain. But at least it will stop you erasing stuff and writing over stuff. So there you go. I'm in Pro Tools 7 and I'm using Expand. It's a new instrument which is free from DigiDesign. And it's great. It's got loads of waves. It's multi-timbral. You've got lots of the waves, and the sounds, you've got some really gnarly sounds in there. You've got some fat pads. You've even got drum sounds. You can just layer them. You've got filter. You've got arpeggiator. You've got effects. I like it. Over on the MIDI track, I can set up my inputs. And as you can see, the Edirol has 3, which is really useful. It has 2 and also your MIDI in. So I'm just going to set that up to PCR-1 on all channels. And then my output is going to be set to Expand, so that's going to be controlling the instrument. And then sure enough, there it is with my arpeggiator on. Cool. Now, what is a really groovy feature of this is I can right-click on a knob and then I can go Learn, and then over on the M1 or any of your controllers, what you're using to control, you can just pick the knob that you want, and if Andy goes back to the screen, you will see that that's what it's doing, which rocks. So you don't have to sit there and just like program loads. This is really instant, nice little feature. And as you can see, that will control my cutoff now. Which is fat, basically. The skimpy PCR-M1 from Edirol retails at $199 US, 159 £100 and €143. It has been out a while. The drivers, you've still got drivers for OS 9, Windows 2000, etc. And you should be able to get a better deal on it, street price. Next up, we have the Novation reMote25 LE USB control keyboard. It's a whole lot heavier, but a whole lot more playable than the Edirol. The keys, kind of heavy action synth keys, they're nice. We've got aftertouch, which you don't have on the Edirol. And it kind of can take a bit of abuse, actually. It has 9 assignable knobs and 9 assignable buttons underneath. Kind of low profile, cool. And here, this is great. For controlling a sequencer, you have play, you have stop, rewind, fast forward, loop, and record. So you can very easily whap record before you start playing. Over here, we have a joystick for modulation and pitch. This is great. This is really nice. And we have this rather cool XY pad, control pad. So you can morph between 4 controllers. We also have templates, which are a bit flimsy, has to be said. They've got some default ones that come with it. So what's this one for? This is for a VA synth. Or you can have the blank ones you can write. You can download them from the website. On the back, we have a MIDI input. There's no MIDI output port. There's a hole for a sustain pedal. You have the switch, so you can switch between battery-powered, adapter powered or USB power. Neither the Edirol or the Novation come with an adapter or batteries included. And yeah, your USB thingy. The reMote25 LE comes with base station serial number, so you can go to the website and download the soft synth version of the classic base station synth, which was a rack and a little mini keyboard. It was used a lot in the 90s to kind of emulate 303, but had a vibe all of its own. And you can, yeah, there's a soft synth there for you. The reMote25 LE is class compliant, so this means that you do not need to install driver for OS 10 and XP. We couldn't find the software editor on the CD, so we downloaded it and got it running. And the first thing I noticed is that there's 2 groups. The controllers are in 2 groups, which means that you've actually got 18 knobs and 18 buttons. It's very useful, and you can see here that they're all clearly displayed on the software editing window. And the first thing I notice is when you set up a new template, which is the first thing it tells you to do, it gives you an option with the XY touchpad, so you can choose whether it springs back to the center, to the left, or it has no spring and it holds, which is actually a really useful function. So I've just set up a new template, and there it is. Okay, to assign a knob, you can give it a name and enable it. So it's a continuous control, gives you MIDI channel, the number of the continuous control, snapshot value, high value and low value. And likewise, exactly the same on the button. Name it, tell you what I want it to do. So this one I'm going to send out a program change, and I can send that out on MIDI channel 2, and I want to change to that program. You can even choose between the button type, normal, momentary, toggle or step, and even step size. This is a new product from Novation. It retails at $249 US, 129.99 British pounds, and 187 euros.